I found a letter buried in a drawer, scribbled with incomplete sentences and frantic loops of ink, and I couldn't tell who wrote it. It said, I wish I wrote the way I thought, obsessively, incessantly, with maddening hunger. I'd write to the point of suffocation. I'd write myself into nervous breakdowns, manuscripts spiraling out like tentacles into abysmal nothing. And I'd write about you, a lot more than I should. There's a visible distinction between my thoughts and words. I wish to cut it out. At least I think about it sometimes. I wonder what I would write, and I wonder about the people who were able to do it. I think that's the key, building a somewhat symbiotic relationship. Some people call it madness or enlightenment, but when that imaginary line between your thoughts and your words starts to fade, that's when you write something true, not in the traditional sense, but your own truth in a way. Absolute honesty is hard to achieve in a world we live in. You might write something that makes other people miserable and confused. Maybe you upset them, maybe you upset yourself, maybe that's the point. When you create something, anything, it's a reflection of your thoughts and your core beliefs. Doesn't matter how much you try to fit the rule box, you will unintentionally say something that you deep down want to. A very interesting game with many forces at play. The obsession is addictive. Not the thing I'm obsessed about, but the very process of obsession. The spiraling, the sharpening, the circling of ideas until they wear grooves into you, until they own you. There's a parasite called toxoplasma that can only reproduce inside of a cat, but it messes with the brain of a mouse, making it attracted to the smell of a cat instead of running away. Maybe obsession is like that, a parasite rewiring instincts, pushing you closer to danger when every other part of you says to run. Maybe creation is about embracing that pull, that risk, and letting it infect you completely. Maybe it's about leaning in so far that you stop caring if you ever lean back out. Obviously, this behavior is not healthy and could be categorized as a disease in many ways, but there's a certain affinity towards it. I don't know where it comes from. Eradication of the self-drawn line of sanity. Letting what you like consume you. We value everyone who crossed this line. Some returned, some didn't, and maybe the ones who didn't were not failures. They just saw something that we're all too afraid to see.